You doing the video today? Is that how this is gonna work? Yeah. Is that what's going on? Yeah. This is riveting, buddy. You got this. Yeah. Talk about that Super Nintendo. Yeah. Yep. You're just gonna. Okay. Yep. Is this a thing that we're gonna do from now on? Is this you gonna do my intro? Is it? You realize you have to face the camera. You just go, okay. It's not. You can't. There. Yeah, I know. But you try using your paws. Don't lick them. Gross. Okay. All right. Yeah. So first up is a game that I don't have a lot of experience with, and that's mainly because I've been slowly working my way through the series, but I have played before, and I know is spectacular, and I know is one of, if not the best, well, hailed as one of, if not the best Mega Man games, and that is Mega Man X. It is, and I love the box art, it's so cool. This is just such a fun game. The powers, the abilities, the graphics, it was just such a step up from the Nintendo games, and just seeing this thing in action, like, it really felt like this was a really, at the time, a next-gen experience. It was so awesome. So I'm definitely excited to get to this when I finally get there. I think currently I'm on like 7 or 8 as far as trying to work through the backlog and finish them up. So it's definitely looking forward to that one at some point. Next, I didn't bring out the pad and the mouse and all that stuff, but I do have it. I think I had the box somewhere too. I just don't know where. Probably at my parents' house somewhere, locked in the basement. And that is Mario Paint. This game is the reason that I got into the trigger that got me into RPGs. I let my friend, I talked about in an older video, I talked about Final Fantasy II on Super Nintendo being the game that got me into role-playing games. This game is the one that I let my friend borrow, to where he let me borrow that game to try it out. And so I can't look at this without thinking of that. This game on its own though is so much fun. It's such a blast. You still see remixes of songs being made in Mario Paint, like on YouTube and stuff, and it's so cool. The music definitely was the best aspect of the game. I also played the Fly Swatter game quite a bit. It was just the goofiest, simplest, basic thing, but it was just fun. And just having this mouse and playing all these games on the Super Nintendo, it's just a fun little time killer. But easily my favorite aspect was the music by far on that. I would go in and I would just do what everybody else does and just, you play the songs that are built into the game and you just change the notes to make them, if a note calls for a dog and you change it to a cat or something like that, or a laser or whatever else symbols they have, mushrooms. So that was fun. Next up, the game that came with the system, Super Mario World. This is one of my favorite Mario games to this day, hands down. It is such a blast. It's the only one that I perfected, that I've gotten complete on. And that's the 96 stars, or you do 96 exits in the game. And at the beginning of the game, when you start it up, it says star 96 on your thing, which means you've done everything. It's the only one that I've done that on with Mario games. I would love to do it on Mario 64 as well, but I'm just so not that good. But this game is just so much fun. Mario 3 was an amazing experience on the NES, but then this one, when it came out, some would argue, I think a lot of people would argue, that Mario 3 is still a little bit better overall. But for me, this just blew me away so much when it came out that I for a long time. I was like, I don't know how they're going to top this. This is crazy, especially, you know, bringing in Yoshi and all that stuff. Being able to fly with the cape and whatnot. Well, I guess you can fly in 3 too, but still. This is just a wonderful, wonderful game, and I adore it still. It is still one that I still occasionally go back to as well, even on the Switch. Next one is another one that I really, really love and have gone through all the way, and that is Donkey Kong Country. I don't know, I haven't played much of the others in the series, but this one I played the hell out of. I have done the minecart levels so many times just because I just loved them so much. They were so much fun to me. I would play with my cousins and they would go through the other levels. Minecart level would come up and they'd be like, alright JJ, it's your turn, and then I'd go in and do that because I was the best at those. And we just had a blast with the Donkey Kong Country games. And they're still so good to this day. I remember seeing those graphics for the first time. If you were a Nintendo Power subscriber and you got that VHS, I should have brought that out, but it's fine. I've got it upstairs. It's the green VHS that has like the introduction to the game and everything that came out with it. And it's so neat to like see how they developed it and all that stuff, and just the graphics compared to what was out at the time were just mind-blowing on this thing. It's, you know, you look at it now and it's like, oh, okay, great, you know, whatever. But man, back then, I'll tell you what, it was just absolutely incredible to see. Next game, Super Mario AllStars. This was the first game that I technically got on the Super Nintendo. You might say, but JJ, you mentioned that Super Mario World came with the console. So how could you have gotten this one first? Well, that's because I opened up my Christmas presents in the wrong order, which was kind of annoying to my parents. So I had asked for a Super Nintendo. I was begging for it for Christmas that year. And I grabbed a box, opened it, and it was this. And I'm like, Super Mario All-Stars? But I don't have a... And I got so excited because I knew right there, and they were like, oh, we should have put that one towards the back. Whoops. And so I always, anytime I see this, that's what I think of. This, I thought this was such a cool concept at the time. Now we have, like, you know, collections that come out left and right. They're crazy. That have tons of games on that are, you know, classics and stuff. But the fact that you had Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, and 3, and the Lost Levels on one cartridge back then was just so neat. And being able to go back and play those games was just so cool. Granted, you know, me, I still had my NES hooked up, so it really didn't even matter much. So that pretty much only got playtime for me to try the Lost Levels and realize how terrible I was at it, and then stop. But I always had that memory of it being the first game that I opened and being like, oh, I gotta get Super Nintendo! So yeah. Next up is a game that I have not played, but I'm pretty sure this, along with a handful of these other ones, I got in like one of the lots that I got from, you know, friends or family or whatever. That is Batman Forever. Thanks, Wayne P. I hate when people write their names on these things. But I have not played it. I really don't know anything about it at all. But it's in my collection, and I have Batman Forever, so there you have it, guys. Batman. Another one that I haven't played, shocking, and that is, although I need to, because this is a classic, and that is Pitfall, My Own Adventure. I've seen it played, I've seen videos, you know, I've heard of it and everything. I just have not played it myself. I don't know why, I just haven't. I think I got this relatively recently too, and I think before that I just hadn't had the opportunity to yet. So again, like I mentioned in the first video, if you're seeing games here that I haven't played and you're like, dude, get on that, like play it now. Or B, why don't you have this one? Which, wait till the last video because I might still have whatever you're thinking of as I go through this list. So, next up is a game I've definitely played, and that is Super Star Wars. When this came out, honestly, all three of these games, and I'm a little irked because I used to have Super Return of the Jedi as well, and I don't know where that is. I can't find it, so I don't know if I don't think I sold it because I don't really sell games much. I honestly don't know. Again, it might be one of those that's just hidden away in my parents' house somewhere that I just have to dig for at some point. But I do have Super Star Wars. These games, a lot like Donkey Kong Country, the graphics just blew me away when I saw them. Like, this, especially, I don't have a lot of experience with this one because this is one that I got more recently. Return of the Jedi, though, I played the hell out of, and the way the lightsabers looked in that game, and the graphics, and just the sheer amount of stuff on the screens that is all Star Wars stuff. It was just, if you were a fan, man, it was so fun to look at and so fun to see. And these games are just, all three of them are really, really good, and I think you can get them on PlayStation Network and stuff. So if you haven't and you're a Star Wars fan, check out any of them because they're all three really, really good. Let's go with this one first. Next is a game that 5th grade, a friend of mine, a guy named Brett, told me about a game called Clay Fighter. And he was always a big like fighting game fan, like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and all that stuff. And he's like, yeah, you're just these weird clay people, and you just fight and beat the crap out of each other. And I was like, oh, that's weird. So I rented it one time, and I thought it was just the goofiest, just funniest thing. It was so much fun, and I haven't played like a ton of it, but I definitely remember him telling me about it and getting that experience when I rented it for the first time. And it's just because of that, I was like, I have to get a copy of it at some point. And so years later, obviously, I was able to finally get one. Clay Fighter's a really, really just interesting game, to say the least. So if you get the chance, I definitely recommend it. At least, you don't even have to try it out. Just go look at a video of it, because it's so goofy. And it's a really interesting game. Okay, next up. So these are sports titles. I'm kind of going to just speed through them because I don't have a lot of experience with most of these. First one up, Stanley Cup. It's hockey, so yeah. Oh, I know I'm gonna knock him over. I know it. Sunday Night NFL, another one that I don't even think I played that one. Next up is the Sporting News Baseball. Why they really made like sports titles with just everything in the title, huh? And we've got, looks like Ken Griffey Jr. presents Major League Baseball. Again, these are games that probably came in a lot that I got. I'm assuming with the big box that I got, older video when I was still in my old apartment that I did. It was one of the pickups ones. That had a whole bunch of really good stuff in there, and then some stuff like this. NCAA football. Yep. I don't even see, there's no year on it, it's literally just NCAA football. And then NFL football. And the only sports game in here that I really actually do have a lot of memories with, and that is Madden 95. And I've talked about it on Sega Genesis, a lot of experience on there, but this was the one, I played NHL more on Sega, but I played NFL Madden 95 on Super Nintendo a hell of a lot more. This game was so easy. Like, I know in a lot of cases you say like, oh, you just got really good at it and stuff like that. It's like, no, this game was stupid easy. You could pretty much just beat teams senseless. Because you could create characters and just put all their stats up to max, and then you just have a team of like just all-stars and you just rip through everything. It was so much fun. I loved it. And me and my buddy Joey would play the crap out of this game. And yeah, I have a lot of memories of Madden 95. So yeah, so that is section number 2 of my Super Nintendo collection. We got this group here, and then we got the box games. So a couple more videos, but until then, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, you know the drill. And as always, I'll see you next week, and keep on gaming.